Yeah. So this is officially the release where I brought over a majority of the features from Monkbee. So let's kind of go ahead and get started with that. One of the first things that we brought over is this invoice and sales receipt lock. So to show off what that will be like, let's go to an invoice list here. And let's just do all dates and find just one random invoice. Okay, so usually whenever you're in a invoice or sales receipt, what will happen is if you need to, and I need to fix that before I publish, good to know. But usually what will happen is if you change the product or service, so let's say this changes from delivery to labor, it changes the rate, amount, and quantity, as well as the description on you, which can be kind of annoying at times. So what I ended up doing with this, and I'm just going to re-enter this, is, yeah, there we go. If you click on this lock button right here, and it changes to this icon that you see here, then if you change the product or service to, let's say, labor, the description, the rate, and the quantity doesn't change. Now, this one didn't have a description, so that kind of negates the point a little bit, but it makes it so you don't have to do that copy and paste.
Maybe pick another invoice that does have a description. Just pick another. Yeah. And Mark, just a quick background on this. It's now that it's not changing, it's sort of being retyped, correct?
Yes, exactly. So it is being retyped essentially. So this one will work. Let's change this to materials. It retypes everything in, and actually let me just change here the quantity real quick. 1, and let's say the amount is 100 or 110 because I have technical issues.
And do you have to save it first?
Or no, it is based on when you click this lock button.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So if I do this now and I change this to sub labor, as you can see, everything got retyped back in as labor, and then the amount / rate is 110. So yeah, that'll help.
Okay. And to clarify, this is going to be in the free version of RightTool. This is one of the free features.
Yes, this is one of the free features of RightTool. And 1 second, I have actually never been the host before. Let me see if I can enable chat, because I think only Q&A is enabled, if I am correct in saying so. Let's see. Unfortunately, I am not as pro at this as Hector is, so I might not be able to do that. But yeah, so that's the idea behind the locking line, basically. So you have to, if you ever want to change it, you have to unlock it again. So if I had this locked and I tried to change this rate from 110 to something else, so let's say I wanted to change it to anything, notice how it kind of just keeps going back to this. So you need to unlock it if you want to change it again. So something to keep in mind.
Give me a second. So let me enable chat. The Q&A is open. Let me enable chat here. Enable chat for everyone. Okay, and then I'll make you host again.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you host again, and chat is functional. So the next feature is the print, right?
Yeah. So an interesting thing that some people like to do is, let's say that you have a bill. I do want to leave without saving changes. And, man, did this take me to the right place? Okay, let's just go to unpaid bill. Interesting. Weird that that's how that works. Okay. Anyways, something to look at. So if you go to a bill, one thing that you'll notice about bills is it doesn't automatically have the ability to print them, which is kind of a weird thing if you asked me. And yeah, so if you go down here, you see how if we press more, I mean, you can go to the transaction journal and print that. but that's just kind of a weird workaround for that, in my opinion. So I created a print button that if you click it, it just automatically takes everything and, depending on what information you actually have on the screen, turns it into a nice printable form for you. Just something nice for people who need that. And the same thing can apply to journal entries themselves. So it also applies to that. So let's see, journal entries sorted by month. I love this little search bar. It's great for finding things.
Yeah, and we have some big plans for the search bar too.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I am just having all kinds of weird problems. Okay, the report screen seems to have some kind of thing that interacts weirdly. Good to know.
It's like getting stuck in the old report or something.
Yeah, it is. And so, yeah, same thing happens here for the journal entries. It just kind of prints it off like this. It's not super fancy or anything, but it kind of gets the job done for people who like to print stuff out for whatever reasons that they have.
Now, on this version of the journal entry, we don't have classes, locations, and customers yet, right?
Yeah, not yet. We will get there, but yeah, it's not there yet.
Okay, but at least we can print the journal entry.
Yeah, and one of the things that I know that there is it's not a huge thing in here, so it doesn't take up a lot of screen space. But I wanted to use this as an opportunity to show that there is a place where you can find extra options for stuff that you might want to turn on and off. So if you right-click on your icon for RightTools, there's a place called Options. And in here, we have a bunch of little extra features that you want that'll make it so you can choose how it displays. So if you don't like the fact that there's a journal print inside of the journal screen, if you click this button right here, it will no longer show up for you. And same thing for bill print. This is also the opportunity I want to take to tell you that if you have had problems with Control Shift after downloading RightTool, like in terms of the arrow buttons, you can turn off whatever your favorite whatever your favorite arrows are from this screen as well. So
I'll add some context. So Control Alt Arrow, Control Alt Arrow, or Control Command Arrow on the Mac allows you to collapse and expand the left navigation bar, the right navigation bar, and to open all favorites and close all open tabs. Some people have Control Alt Arrow mapped to some weird screen resizing or rotating function. So we added Control Shift Arrow to fix that. But then some people were complaining that they use Shift Arrow to select text. So if you don't want Control Shift Arrow or the Shift Arrow to change the text selection, you can disable it here. So it basically solves for the people that have that weird monitor rotation issue, and it also allows you to turn it off if you want to have the text selection work. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime there'll be more stuff, that's sort of just too many things to add on the main settings screen, we're going to add them into this options screen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to then the big features. And by the way, to minimize them, those are big. Right.
Yeah. And just to be clear, when it prints, you can print it to PDF. So if you like PDFs, then it is available for you.
Yeah. As a PDF.
And you can also edit this inside of here if you ever needed to, but it's just a minor thing.
So it creates like a new screen, editable fields.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can add or remove whatever you want from there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
we add to the notes that we probably want to see name, location, and class at some point on that one.
Yeah.
Mark, do we get the bill payment memo workflow on this version?
Yes, we do. Now, I will admit that it relies on the most arguably, inconsistent thing that happens in QuickBooks, and that's saying a lot. Which is that, let's see here. If I wanted to come over here and say Mark is paid for whatever reason, sometimes this Mark is paid page, like it doesn't load for whatever reason. But just so you can see what happened here, because if you notice, there's a memo filled out over here. So let's leave without saving.
Yeah, while you load that, I'll add some context. So one of the challenges that people are having or they hate is that when you pay a bill or pay multiple bills and you look at a report of bill payments, there's no like additional context to what that bill payment was. And sometimes bringing the original memo of the bill into the bill payment can help. Unfortunately, you can't go to pay bills and select the bill. You have to open the bill you want to pay and then click on mark as paid to then generate a bill payment. But the nice thing is go down for a second. And on that memo line, just put there Hector Garcia, July or something like that. And save it. Just for the context, and save it. So the bill itself has something in the memo. So now when you go pay the memo, when you pay the bill by clicking on mark as paid, it will generate a bill payment and it will bring the memo in there. But it won't work if you go to bill payment and then select the bill. It needs, the workflow needs to start from the bill. It's not perfect, but it's something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the goal, is to make it something. I tried to make it so you could do it from here, but the data just isn't there, unfortunately. But yeah, that is kind of a cool little feature that is automatically turned on, basically.
Yeah, that one cannot be turned off.
Actually, yeah, this one can be turned off in here.
Turned off. Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, everything we described so far is on the free version.
Yeah.
Okay. Now open up, go back to the settings in RightTool.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Control Alt S or Control Shift S gets us there, correct?
Let me see. I am not the power user that Hector is. Yeah. I use the mouse.
Control Shift S. Yeah. So for some context, everything that has the Pro title in it will only work in the paid version, in the Pro version of RightTool, and anything that doesn't have Pro in it, right now is on the left side, will work on the free version. So we kind of have a free forever version that we're gonna have as a launching point for the Pro version. The free version will have ads, as you used to seeing. We only have 2 people advertising in it now. It's a beta, but we're gonna open it up to more app developers. And once you're paying for the Pro edition, you will not see the ads, and you will have all the Pro features enabled. Right now, everyone has every feature enabled because everyone's a beta tester. But in 2023, starting January, you're going to notice on the next update that the Pro features will be disabled unless you are a paid user. Okay, just to add some context to that. And to add some additional context to that, Mark, I know we demoed this last time, but can you also demo the void memo automation? Because we made some improvements on it from the last time we demoed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I am trying to think, where is it that we would usually do the, just pretty much any transaction.
Like an invoice, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go to invoices. I like invoices more. I know that's a weird thing.
I like anything that has money coming in, right?
Exactly. Maybe that's what it is. I just like seeing the money come in. Okay. So we have it. The void memo feature is we simply click void, or there is a shortcut for it as well. I can't remember what that is at the moment, but I assume it's Control Alt V or Control Shift V. Oh, you're muted, Hector.
Oh, it's confirming. It's Control Shift V.
Yeah. But just so you can see it here, you can see over in the side here that it is automatically creating a message right here that says void for the original amount of 1,400. And yeah, I'm just going to say no for this to make it so we can see this easier.
It has three things: the original invoice amount or transaction amount prior to the void. It adds the word original amount before marked void. Then it adds the username that was logged in that did the void, and then it adds the date of the void. So you don't have to go into the audit trail to see who did it.
Yeah.
And this is in the free version.
Yes, it is. And there's actually one more thing I want to show, which actually, I guess I can show this at the same time as we show our next like big feature, right? Which
what are you going to show? Is it a free version or?
It is a free version.
Show that.
Yeah. So let's go to a bank register real quick. And you'll notice up here at the top that we have a button for chart of accounts, and then we have back to banking. This is just something I created a while back because I hated the fact that you could only go back to the chart of accounts whenever you're in the register. It made no sense to me because I don't imagine anybody ever actually went back to the chart of accounts from here. So what it will do is it will literally just take you back to the banking page. So,
or to the banking page of that particular account in the register.
It will take you back. I think it takes you back to whatever the last page you had clicked on was, to be very clear, because QuickBooks has a back end way of keeping track of all that.
So you can't choose a direct account to go into the banking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird in that way.
Yeah, I believe it. Okay, so those are all the free features. So we can now talk about, and by the way, that one cannot be turned off, right? That's always there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always there. Okay, so we talked about all the updates on the free features up to version 33. Now let's talk about the two big pro features that we added on top of all the other pro features, which is the batch delete, the batch unreconcile, and the journal entry report. So let's start with the batch delete.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? Before I do this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a second so I can move this over into the sample file company, because that way we can do whatever we want and not worry about breaking anything. I realize this is also a sample company of our own making, but
yeah, you can
just to make it
Craig's landscape. That's fine.
Yeah, let's just do that real quick to make it so that.
All right. So while you do that, let's see if there's any comments in the chat or questions. Oh, so Dory's asking, how do you get the print options to work? That's version 33, Dory. You don't have it yet. You're on version 32. Version 33 will be released probably by tomorrow. By Friday.
It's actually already approved by Google. I just have to actually press the button to publish it. So it technically is available. I might fix one thing real quick.
So
before
by tomorrow, the latest. I guess that's the answer. By Friday, December 2nd, the latest. Can you turn off the run preset button? Yes, you can turn off the run preset button. You want to do that really quick?
It should. Now, let me make sure of that. If you turn off all of the preset buttons, then it should make it so that you no longer get the run preset. So see how it doesn't show up now? But if I re-enable any of these, actually, it's just the last three. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if I enable preset reds and I refresh the page, and I'm hoping it's not going to make a liar out of me. Okay. There we go. The run preset. And one of the updates we had is to actually make this a little bit more reliable. It was having a weird issue sometimes, so it should work much better now.
Yep.
And then
and Control Shift R triggers it too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to click on it. Sorry, Control Shift. Is it E?
Well, if you ever need to find your keyboard shortcuts, there is a button right here. Yeah. Sometimes people ask what this button is. It's just the keyboard shortcuts. It's just the entire list. Let's see if presets is the name that we have inside of here. Yeah. So Control Shift E was what will do it.
Control Shift R triggers run report. Control Shift E, the preset report.
Yeah. So that is how you can disable that if it's something that's truly annoying. Yeah, you can get that out of your way. So now that we have done that, we can go to one of the two big features that have been released recently. The first one is, as Hector mentioned, the batch unreconcile and batch delete options. So this is something that's really cool, I think. I mean, I personally think it's cool. But what you can do is you can, if you want to, you can click on these one at a time, or if you hold down the shift button. Well, first, let me actually say, in order to start this up, there is a button right here called batch. And once you click that, a whole bunch of checkboxes will come up for you. And once you click on one, you can click on delete, and everything that has a checkbox will be deleted. And it will actually tell you before it's about to delete how many transactions you're going to be removing and what the net effect is going to be, or not the net effect on deletes anyways. It's telling you how much of transaction value you're going to be deleting. So we just simply press OK. And bam, it just automatically filters through all of the checked boxes and deletes the items. It's super quick. It works pretty consistently from what I can tell.
Mark, the way to do that demo is you select like 5 of them, okay?
Yeah. Well, and this gets into the point of, well, it would be annoying to click on each one of these one by one, right? So we have a solution where if you hold down the shift button and then click on whatever the next or whatever the box is between the two that you have, it automatically selects everything in between those two boxes.
Yeah, and then hit delete, and then show me your hands after.
Okay.
Yeah, can I do it like that?
I got to put my mouse on my head or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to hit delete. And
okay, explain it.
Okay, sorry.
Hands are up.
I'm putting my hands on my head. I was too excited.
Yeah. So basically what's happening is it's cycling through deletes. It's like a sort of like a bot, like it's going in there and just hitting delete for you. Can you do another one where you select a whole bunch and then show that that menu?
Yeah. So let's select all of these and select delete.
So yeah, so basically prior to deleting, it's just doing a quick count of the transactions, telling you how much you are deleting. This is the net amount, I assume, or is it like debit? How we looked at if it's debits and credits, or just total amount?
So for the delete, it's just the total amount of the dollar transaction. So it doesn't matter if it's a debit or a credit. It's going to say, it's going to add it up and total it into this box right here.
So if you delete $100 debit and $100 credit, it'll say 200.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just reminds you that if it's a payroll tax payment or sales tax payment, it won't delete. It'll just error out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will delete reconciled transactions if you want it to. So just be, it's one of those things where, like, with great power comes great responsibility.
It will delete. It will delete a reconciled transaction, which is worth mentioning. I hit cancel there. Go do a reconcile. Go to reconcile.
Okay.
Yeah. And just put zero. Put zero there. Zero.
Okay.
And put I don't know. Last month, 11/30.
Okay.
Okay. And then select everything in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then unselect 3 or 4 of them at random.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
30.
And then go to edit info and put 2182.44.
182.44.
Yeah. All right, so let's say we reconcile like normal. We have a normal reconciliation. Go to finish now. And now we go back into the register. What we probably want to do is go to the filter section on the left side,
Okay.
and then where it says reconcile status, put not reconciled, and then apply. And then if you want to then delete everything that's not reconciled, maybe anything prior to, let's say, July 30. So go back into filters and go to July 31st, and then go to apply. Then by the combination of using the filters, then you can do the batch, select them all, and delete. That's a practical application of this. Is you reconcile, now you want to delete everything that hasn't been reconciled yet, and only under a certain date, then you can delete that. But I will go ahead and delete it so you can see it. Hands up.
Hands off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's remove the filter, and let's try to delete something that's been reconciled. So delete.
We'll just delete the one.
So
yeah.
it gives you the warning, but we automated it, so we ignore the warning. So exactly. Great power comes with responsibility. Now let's do the let's do the unrec. Explain unrec.
Yeah. So if you ever need to, if you have anything that is in the R or the C status, then what you can do is, and let me press cancel to get out of that. So you can click unreconcile. Let me actually select things before I do that. And another thing you can do is you can press the shift button and then the arrow keys, and that will also select multiple things at the same time. So if you want to do that.
Shift click and then shift arrow.
Yeah, exactly. Both of those will automatically select the next checkbox that you want to select. So if we come here and we say unreconcile, this one does take into account the effect of the debits and credits. So
basically the cleared or reconciled balance of the bank right now is whatever number. if we batch unclear, it's going to now change by that number.
Yeah, and it only counts for this. Just to be clear, it only counts for this alert up here, the transactions that are marked as R. So because obviously you're not going to throw off your reconcile balance for things that are marked as C. So just a thing to keep in mind.
Yep, go ahead and do it. Hands up.
Oh, and it looks like it had something that it got caught on here, which is unfortunate. But that just means we can fix this at the same time, as it seems like people want to have the ability to do void. So maybe we'll add that in at the same time. Interesting.
Wait, how come it didn't let you do it? Do it again?
It is being weird. Let's see.
Was it the bill payment?
Let me see. This one is a little bit weird, only because of the fact that it reloads the entire page every single time that you unreconcile. Mm-hmm. So it might be that there's something that QuickBooks does every once in a while that might be messing this up. So that just means that I need to fix that, which I can do pretty quickly.
Okay.
But well, not right now.
So still working on debugging the batch on rec, but there is a manual way to unrec with a shortcut.
Yeah.
Which would be you select the transaction.
Yeah. And then unreconcile. Let's find
it. That one should be Control-Shift-U.
Control-Shift-U. Oh, I see. Something about things being made inactive causes it to stop. Okay, well, that's fair. And now it's actually being able to go. So interesting.
Okay. All right. Let's just do the manual Control-Shift-U.
Yeah. Let's refresh the page real quick.
Just trying to finish the old batch.
Yeah. So Control Shift U.
So Control Shift U will mark it from R to nothing and then
Yeah.
save, and then go to the next one down. So if you go all the way down,
Let me save this real quick. And then let me just change this to R. That way it's just easier to see.
you do a couple. Okay.
Yeah. So Control Shift U.
It does is save it and goes to the next one down. So then you
Yeah.
can Control Shift U one more time. Okay. And then some people are saying that they want to batch void from here. The problem is that there's no button to void from here. So we will have to program this to click on edit, void, and come back into the screen. So that's why it's not so easy.
I wonder, and this is just me doing on the fly spitballing. I wonder if we could change this to 0 and just add a memo and then save. But I know that's not exactly the same as voiding.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because
so we might be able to do that. And now
so
there's some things that can't be voided that way, like this one.
Right.
So you'd have to actually void it in order to do it. But for the ones that do allow editing, maybe it's something we could work on. I'll think on it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, so it won't work on split items. It's just a bunch of, yeah. So there's a bunch of, we have to think about that. But I mean, the other solution would be to click on edit, void, come back to the screen and hope it doesn't refresh somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the big one, the journal entry one.
Yeah. This is the baby of of Hector right
This
here.
is my baby. Yeah. I'll give you some background. So 10 years ago, this is back in the QuickBooks desktop days. 10 years ago, I wanted to, well, I mean, I've always wanted to, but it occurred to me that maybe I could develop an app to copy and paste stuff from a spreadsheet into QuickBooks desktop. And I built an app. I never sold it. I used it internally. Basically, I copied a spreadsheet, click on the app, and it basically typed things in as if it was a copy and paste, because you can't copy and paste, period. It's just not an option. Okay. So the day I contacted Mark before we even got into business together, he was running Monk B, and I told him, could you do something like this? And he started with MVP, and it kind of worked, but it worked enough to give me confidence that we can at some point have it functional. Right now we are at 99.99% functionality, so we're pretty close. So we're about to showcase something that's a pretty big effing deal. Okay. So Mark, probably show a journal entry first, like if you pull up the history of journal entries, so we can have honestly have a spreadsheet ready to go, so we can build a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. So you want to
just pull one that's already there in the history and export it.
I love going to here to do it. I don't know why. Just something about it. Super. What's the word? Super satisfying.
Oh, that custom report that we built. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Pick that.
Yeah, this one should work.
Yeah. It's an example. So it's a big journal entry basically. It's a real big journal entry. Has account, has debits, credits, descriptions, names, location, class. It has everything. So let's export it first.
God. And then, so I exported it, and it comes out looking like this.
Okay, perfect. So I would, just for the sake of time, maybe just limit it to like 20 lines.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not as fast as an API-based journal entry import, but what we could do, and this is actually one of the quirks. Let me do one thing real quick. Let's make a new journal entry.
Make a new one. Make a new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of use cases for this. One is you have a journal entry, you export it, make changes to it, import it again. Two, you have maybe a template in Excel somehow, and all you're gonna do is change the numbers, or change the class, or change the location, and you want to bring it in. The point is, you already have a spreadsheet with something that looks like a journal entry. You want to make the columns, expand them a little bit, just
Yeah. I'll try to make it so it expands, but still is enough room that you can.
Yeah. So assume that you have all this information: account name, debit, credit, description, name, location, class, everything. So we stress tested it pretty hard. So you're gonna copy the information, except the headers for now. So go ahead and select.
Exclude that.
So no headers.
Okay. So we copy that.
Copy.
And then we can just come over here. There's a button up here that's paste from Excel when you hover over it. And so what it does is, because there's no way to get all the information for the chart of accounts from this page, I have to go through each of the lines and find what all the chart of accounts are. But once you paste inside of here, it automatically populates this table for you. And this will tell you if there are valid inputs for each of these accounts, classes, names, what have you.
Let's do an example. Go to cancel for a second. Go to cancel. And then go back to the spreadsheet. And change the just put BOA. Or BO, that's fine. That's fine. And then and then on one of these just type parent. One of those just type parent.
Yeah. And then we can just copy this thing again.
So we built up some nuance on this. So sometimes, like, it needs to be, it should be verbatim. Hopefully you have it verbatim, but sometimes it happens where things don't match exactly. So you can explain what the yellows are.
Yeah. So if you ever have something where it's not an exact match to how QuickBooks Online has it, and it could be murky in terms of which class it could be, what happens is if you just click on the yellow, it will pop up a list up top here that will automatically, if you click on one, let's say that for this one, we knew it was parent class 3, then all we'd have to do is click parent class 3 and it automatically fills that in. Working on the...
But if your Excel is clean, you don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a way of making sure that you don't post anything to the wrong account or get caught up anywhere.
Right. And we can't create accounts from here. Not yet.
Yeah. So, and then over here for the BOA, there's all these that have potential to have the word BO in it.
Right.
So we can just go BOA 112 is the account that we want for this. And bam, it's good to go.
Now we're going to click on run it and put our hands up in our heads.
Okay. Having a nice day so far, Hector?
Very good.
And yeah, as you can see, it's not like instantaneous, but it runs pretty fast.
Yeah, it's basically a bot. It's just sitting there and pasting things in your behalf. It's just typing things. And by the way, this took so many. This is the feature that has taken the most to do, just because there's so many moving parts in terms of how QBO behaves with automation and drop downs. So we're hoping that they don't change the journal entry screen for a while. So this will sustain. Now, we probably will build an API-based tool. That's phase 2 of RightTools. Right now, we're sort of mostly focused on non-API based tools. And for the people that know what API is, basically, the API is a direct electronic digital connection to the database. And with API, it's how all the third-party apps connect to QuickBooks. When you have an API tool, you create a separate interface. People upload the Excel file, they press a button, and it all gets digitally written into it. It's not like right in front of your eyes the way you're seeing it here. So the delete that we have is the same thing. So Mark and I want to know how far we can go without using the API, because just speed. Because if you use transaction import, if you use anything import, and you only want to import one thing, it takes longer to set up the import than actually bringing it in. Or like a batch deleter, you open it up, you select filters, you move here, you move there, and then it just takes so much longer to do than with something like this. So we want to explore how deep and how far we can get with non-API tools. The problem with non-API tools is that if QuickBooks changes the interface, for example, the invoice lock, the line item lock, doesn't work on the new improved quote unquote invoicing mechanism. So we have to wait until everybody moves to the new improved mechanism and then rewrite it for that screen, assuming we even can. So that's where API tool helps, but it's not in front of you. It happens in the back end, then you can go see it. So we are going to build API tools. It's our destiny, okay? But for now, we try to maximize what RightTool can do without hitting API. So maybe let's talk about pricing, Mark. You want to open up the RightTools homepage, Accounting Pro Tools.
Yeah. Let's see here. I always like to go through here. So is this what the page you wanted?
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. Okay. We are gonna go live with RightTools as two separate versions: free version and the pro version. The free version, it's automatic. You just go to the Chrome. Actually, go to the Chrome web store for a second, just so people can see it. Just for some context.
Let me go to that real quick.
So you click on try it for free, and it'll take you there.
There we go.
Okay, so just click on remove from Chrome. So if any user in the world finds this page, they'll be able to download RightTools free by just clicking on add to Chrome. Okay, so just click on that add to Chrome, and that's it. You officially have RightTools free in your browser per se. Okay, now let's switch over to RightTools now and go to settings.
Okay. Actually, I use a special version of this, so let me turn off the one that I currently use and turn on that one.
Okay, and then we go to settings.
Yeah.
So when you are on the free version, all the pro features, you want to turn them off?
Oh, yeah, sure.
When you're in the free version, all the pro features will be turned off and they will be grayed out. Okay, and all you have to do is get on the pro version. We'll probably add a button here that says get pro or something like that. And once you get the pro version, you can turn off and on any of these other pro features. We are going to continue to add stuff to the free version. Like you saw, we moved COA jump to location to free. We have void memo on free. All the shortcuts, all the search tools, collapsible navigation bar, the rename tabs, the audit log loop, the print journal entries, print bills, memo, transfer the memo to the print bill. A lot of things are in the free version. So we are going to encourage every QuickBooks user on earth to use the free version. We're going to be focusing on accounting professionals for the Pro Edition. We want to have a Founders Edition of Pro Tools, of RightTools once we get through the legal aspect of that. For now, we're just going to offer the Pro Edition, and then only the people that have the Pro Edition will get an offer for the Founder Edition. So the Founder Edition basically is unlimited access, unlimited lifetime access, plus the ability to become an investor in RightTool. But I can't offer that publicly until I get all the legal stuff out of the way. So for now, just forget about the Founders Edition. Don't let that confuse you. So for the Pro Edition, we're going to start at $50 a month. It's not a per client. It's not a per company
Connection.
file offer. Yeah. It's going to be per user. So, and it's going to be tied to your Intuit ID. So you log in with Intuit ID, and every company file in that Intuit ID, you'll be able to use the Pro Edition. So unlimited files, unlimited clients, the clients don't matter, okay? When we move into the API world, we're gonna have to figure out how to make that scalable, because the API is what makes it expensive to run the app. Right now, the app is just an extension. So, so as a Google Chrome extension, it's there's not a lot of overhead for us.
Yeah.
So this $50 a month will be the public offering, and for all the beta testers, for the first 1,000 beta testers, we have 1,500 beta testers as of today, which, by the way, is pretty freaking awesome. 1,500 beta testers is amazing. Okay, so we have 1,500 beta testers. We're gonna offer a coupon for $150 for the first year. So it would be, you pay 3 months, get 9 months for free. My math is right. So that's going to be the offer. We're going to email everybody that offer. And the one thing we have to address is, what if you have 2 Intuit IDs? Right now, it's going to be a manual process for us to override a single user with 2 Intuit IDs or 3. We're going to have to figure that out in the back end. But the general rule of thumb is $50 is for the first user. It's going to be the admin user, and every additional user will be $15 extra. So if you have a firm with 10 people, you'll be paying $200 for all 10 people. If you have a firm with 11 people,
that's
you will pay $50. Yeah, plus 100, so you will pay $200 a month for all of them. So that's how we're going to do it. But the most important thing is the beta testers, the people watching the webinar live, the people probably going to be watching the YouTube video when this goes into YouTube. You guys are going to get an email where you can take it, and the first 1,000 will be able to pay $150 today before the December 15th is going to be the deadline. Sorry. So before December 15th, or the first 1,000 will be able to purchase for $150 for 1 year.